Hey, what's going on out there? And welcome back to Building Blocks for Mental Health, where, as always, I empower you to continue to build to becoming the best version of yourself. It's your guy, Jermaine Wright, and I'm so thankful for you all continuing to log in. And today, I just wanted to talk a little bit about a topic that's been coming up lately. It's near and dear to many of us. Today, we're going to be having a conversation about imposter syndrome, y'all. So before we get into that, hey, y'all, you know what it is. You know what we do. I need you to hit that like. I need you to hit that subscribe button. And don't hesitate to share this with someone who you believe it can help, because it's all about spreading awareness, creating insight as we continue to heal our communities, like I said, and the generational trauma, video, audio, whatever you want to call it. You can't heal what you don't acknowledge. So, okay, cool. Now that we got that out the way, let's talk a little bit about imposter syndrome. So what exactly is imposter syndrome? Imposter syndrome, it's that nagging feeling that despite our accomplishments, we don't feel like we belong. We're somehow frauds or undeserving of our success. And let me tell you, I think it's something that happens more common than you think. Imposter syndrome doesn't discriminate. It can affect anyone, and regardless of your background, achievements, or level of success. In fact, some of the most accomplished individuals in history have grappled with imposter syndrome at some point in their lives. So, for example, let's take a look at Maya Angelou. For example, she was a renowned poet and author, and she once admitted that I have written 11 books, but each time I think, they're going to find me out now. I've run a game on everybody, and they're going to find me out. I guess that was my tip of trying to articulate, the late great Maya Angelou. Try my best. But can you believe that? That's crazy. That even someone as celebrated and as revered as Maya Angelou struggled with feeling like a fraud. Now, here's another notable individual from history, the late great Albert Einstein, one of the greatest minds of the 20th century. Despite his groundbreaking discoveries and contributions to science, Einstein reportedly said, "The exaggerated esteem in which my life work is held makes me very ill at ease. I feel compelled to think of myself as an involuntary swindler." So even the late great Albert Einstein experienced an imposter syndrome in the form of, feeling like, they just didn't really belong, feeling like that whatever it is that he was doing, or whatever it is that the late great Maya Angelou was doing, they just felt like they was basically faking it till they make it. So these examples just go to show that imposter syndrome can affect anyone, no matter how accomplished or talented they may be. And if these iconic figures struggled with feelings of inadequacy, it's no wonder that so many of us wrestle with similar doubts and insecurities. But here's the thing. Imposter syndrome, it's not a reflection of our true worth or abilities. It's a psychological phenomenon, and it's fueled by self-doubt and fear of failure. And while it may feel overwhelming at times, there are some strategies that we can use to overcome it and reclaim our confidence. So, first and foremost, it's important to recognize and acknowledge the signs of imposter syndrome. So these are things like feelings of self-doubt, fear of being exposed as a fraud, or something that I see a lot, downplaying your achievements as luck or coincidence. Nah, you gotta embrace it, you gotta own it, you gotta believe your success and walk in it. And by bringing these feelings into the light, we can start to challenge them and reframe them. Now, it's helpful to cultivate self-awareness and practice self-compassion. So instead of berating ourselves for our perceived shortcomings, because we all have things that we can work on, we can learn to treat ourselves with kindness and understanding, and remember that it's okay to be human. We're all human, and it's okay to make mistakes, or it's okay to fall short at times, because that's how you learn. Everybody makes mistakes, but the thing is, you don't want to keep making mistakes, or rather repeating the same mistake over and over and over again. And another powerful tool for combating imposter syndrome is reframing our thoughts and beliefs. As a person thinketh, so they becometh. So, instead of dwelling on negative self-talk, we can change our inner critic by focusing on our strengths, accomplishments, and past successes. By shifting our perspective, we can start to see ourselves in a more positive and empowering light. It's also important to seek support and validation from others. So, this may look like talking to trusted friends, family members, or mentors about your feelings of imposter syndrome. Chances are, I think once you start you start allowing yourself to be vulnerable, to have these conversations, what you'll come to see is they've experienced similar doubts about themselves, and they may be able to offer some empathy, encouragement, and perspective. Additionally, I always recommend, seek professional help from a therapist or a counselor who specializes in things of this nature, like imposter syndrome. So therapy can provide a safe and supportive space to explore your thoughts and feelings, challenge negative beliefs, and develop coping strategies for managing imposter syndrome. Now, let's talk a little bit about how trauma can contribute to the development of imposter syndrome, y'all, because y'all know I'm always, beating the drum. I'm always fostering awareness around trauma. So, consider a scenario where someone grows up in a household and they experience emotional abuse or neglect. And as part of that emotional abuse or neglect, there's constant criticism, belittling, there's invalidation from caregivers, and this can erode their self-confidence, and this can lead these individuals to believe that they are inherently flawed or unworthy of love or success. So as a result, because this individual had this experience, they may develop imposter syndrome, and this may look like constantly doubting their abilities and feeling like they don't deserve the opportunities or recognition that they receive. So, similarly, individuals who have experienced significant trauma, such as physical or sexual abuse, may struggle with imposter syndrome as a way of coping with their past experiences. They may internalize the messages of their abusers, believing that they are inherently bad or defective, and they may fear being exposed as frauds if others were to discover their true selves. So, systemic trauma, such as racism, sexism, or discrimination, can also contribute to the development of imposter syndrome, particularly among marginalized individuals. And constant experiences of prejudice or discrimination can chip away at one's sense of self-worth and make it extremely difficult to internalize feelings of success and or accomplishment, leading to feelings of fraudulence, of inadequacy. So it's important to recognize that the effects of trauma are complex and multifaceted, and not everyone who experiences trauma will develop imposter syndrome. However, for those who do, it's crucial to address the underlying trauma and work through the associated feelings of shame, guilt, and unworthiness in order to heal and move forward. Therapy can be an invaluable tool in this process, providing a safe and supportive environment to explore past traumas, challenge negative beliefs, and develop healthier coping mechanisms. Through therapy, individuals can learn to reframe their experiences, build resilience, and cultivate a stronger sense of self-worth and self-compassion. Additionally, building a supportive network of friends, family, or mentors who understand and validate their experiences can also be instrumental in overcoming imposter syndrome, and having a sense of belonging and connection can help individuals feel seen, heard, and valued, reducing feelings of isolation and self-doubt. Ultimately, healing from trauma and overcoming imposter syndrome, it's a journey that requires patience, self-compassion, and most certainly self-perseverance. So hey, that's the J Talk today, on imposter syndrome. You have to believe your success. And part of, I think what helps individuals get over it is just being able to understand your story, being able to understand the journey. What are the things that you experience throughout the journey that may contribute to the negative thoughts, that may contribute to the negative beliefs, and getting support so that somebody can help you see it clearly as it relates to the impact of how it affects your behavior, how it affects your progress, your ability to get the most out of your life. So thanks for checking in today. Hey, listen, don't forget to like, don't forget to share, and most certainly don't forget to subscribe. You be well out there as I continue to empower you to build into becoming the best versions of yourselves. And I'll see you soon on the next episode of Building Blocks for Mental Health. Take care.